Good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Simon Wright. I am the Director of Programming here at Japan House London. Thank you very much for joining us for this event here at Japan House London. Straight from the brewery, visit to Urakasumi Sake Brewery and Shinshu tasting. It's the first in a series of talks in collaboration with Japan's National Tax Agency. During the event, guests will be able to take a virtual visit to the Urakasumi Sake Brewery in Japan's northern Miyagi Prefecture, accompanied by sake expert Satomi Dosa here at Japan House, and Fujishiro Ayumi, who will be joining us from Japan. After the brewery tour, there will also be a tasting of Shinshu, newly brewed sake for guests, all of you, here at Japan House London. Today we are broadcasting live in front of both a physical audience and also a live virtual audience on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The event is being recorded, and a recording will be archived for our social media platforms afterwards. So if you miss anything, you can have another look. But without further ado, would you please join me in welcoming Satomi Dosa.
Thank you very much, Simon. Good evening and welcome to Straight from the Brewery, Sake Brewery, visit and the Shinshu tasting held by Japan's National Tax Agency and Japan House London. So my name is Satomi. I'm a Japanese sake specialist and director of a company called Genshu Limited. I used to work in a 5-star hotel called Procured Tokyo in Japan, and moved to London to join a company called Junmai restaurant. And I worked there as a head sake sommelier for 9 years. After I left Junmai, I established my company to provide a course called the Kiki Sakeshi, which run by the Sake Service Institute of Japan, and promoting sake and running all the sake-related events. So I'm really honored to be able to take you, to transport you to the Urakasumi Brewery today. I hope you enjoy. Okay. So, just like a Scotch whiskey in the UK, Japan has a sake which we can boast to the world. The nature and the climate of Japan was suitable for producing a sake, and it has been developed with the nature of Japan. The 4 seasons in Japan show various expressions throughout the year. And if you have visited Japan, I'm sure you know already, it's really different in each season. And the way of drinking sake according to such expressions of 4 seasons has developed as a culture. So jointly with Japan House London, the National Tax Agency have planned this evening under the theme of sake breweries and the sake in 4 seasons. During this online session as well, that we are going to hold from now, we will be connecting with the sake brewery in Japan, and you will soon have an opportunity of a virtual tour inside of the sake brewery and taste the freshly made sake. That's really exciting. Also, introduction of sake brewery tourism, proposal of how to drink sake depending on each season, spring, autumn, summer, and the other seasons are available at each booth. I hope that today's event will encourage you to visit Japan and also stop by the sake brewery during your visit to Japan, even little. So today we will be linking to the live to Urakasumi Sake Brewery, and then in the Miyagi Prefecture, and also the taste Shinshu, Junmai Genshu, Shiboritate, Urakasumi. It's a very long name. Don't worry. After we have a sip, it doesn't. We can all pronounce. That's a sake brewed in the current year, the Shinshu, and exclusively procured straight from the brewery for this event especially. So let me introduce you this area and the brewery we're going to connect to later. Okay. So, Shiogama City, Miyagi Prefecture is located in the Pacific coast in Tohoku area. And it takes about 2 hours from Tokyo and 30 minutes from the Sendai city, which is a capital city of Miyagi Prefecture. And the economy of Shiogama is largely based on the commercial fishing and the fish processing, as well as rice producing, including Sasanishiki or Hitomebore. There's a quite famous brand of the Japanese rice. So about Urakasumi Brewery, this brewery is firmly focused on crafting classic and elegant sake. It continues to produce a lineup of sake with a distinctively mellow and sophisticated taste, very elegant, and natural umami of rice and perfectly harmonized balance between the taste and aroma. It's a really good imagination I'm sure you can all have now. Yes. So visitors to the Urakasumi Brewery can view and purchase the sake during the sets created by the local artisans in the brewery's gallery, as well as the brewery tours which are available in English. Okay. So Urakasumi Brewery is now a popular tourist destination in Shiogama. So I visited this brewery in 2017, and one of the most wow moment to me, it was also the brewery is beautiful, how the building is structured, and if you're interested in those Japanese buildings, it will be really, really enjoy just looking at the buildings and the beams and everything is so beautiful. And another thing is the shrine, not far from the brewery, is a fantastic site to visit. Also, if you have a chance to see the sunrise from the Matsushima Bay, it's not far from the brewery, but that is something that you never forget. I'll never forget the sunrise. So there's a lot more to see, and I hope you will have a chance to visit the area and also the brewery. So let's watch the video introducing this area, and you have more clear ideas what is amazing about this place. Okay.
酒は塩釜のやれうらかすみよはえよかろよさそうだやえもう一度頼むこれでよからばやえおさめおくよはえ
hope you enjoy the video. Transport you already to the beautiful place. So I think we are ready to connect to Urakasumi Brewery and also Ayumi-san. Can we connect to them?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Satomi-san.
Ayumi-san.
So can you hear me? And also, okay. All right. So let me introduce myself. Yeah, my name is Ayumi. I'm a sommelier of sake and lecturer and taster. Today, Urakasumi Sake Brewery is going to show their brewery. Mr. Saura-san, こんばんは。
こんばんは。はい、浦霞醸造元の社長を務めておりますサウラです。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
He's Mr. Saura, the president of Urakasumi Sake Brewery.
先ほども動画で見ていただきましたけれども、私どもは長い歴史と美しい自然に恵まれた宮城県塩釜市で1724年に創業しました。
As you see the video just now, they have a long history and they are located in Shiogama city with the beautiful nature. They was founded in 1724.
豊かな食文化に育まれながら、私どもは南部杜氏の酒造りの技術を伝承しています。
With the rich culinary culture, they use Nambu Toji technique.
吟醸作りを中心とした最高品質の酒造りとともに、地元の原料米を使った地域性の表現の酒造りを目指しています。
They mainly produce ginjo sake with the premium quality, and they also express the regional characteristics.
本日はこちらはまだ朝4時でちょっと寒いんですけれども、まだ蔵の中で作業はしていませんが、その酒造りを行っている場所の一部を実際にご覧いただこうと思います。
It's actually 4 a.m. in Japan right now. It's very early in the morning. And over there, Urakasumi Sake Brewery there is quite cold. Unfortunately, they haven't started manufacturing yet, but they are going to show the brewery now.
はい、ではその酒造りの場所につきましては、私どもの杜氏の小野寺がこれからご説明いたします。
The chief brewer, Mr. Onodera, is going to introduce the place.
さん、こんばんは。浦霞醸造元の本社蔵の杜氏をしております。小野寺邦夫と言います。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
He's Mr. Kunio Onodera, the chief brewer of the main brewery of Urakasumi Sake Brewery. はい。
今見ていただいているのは第一段階の原料処理室になります。
So now you can see their brewery, right? And this is the place for process of raw materials.
今正面の方ですね、ちょっと右側になりますけども白米を洗う洗米機が見えていると思います。
On the right side, you can see a machine. This is for rice washing.
原料米の白米を水の中に気泡を入れまして、小さい気泡を入れまして、白米を洗米します。 周りのぬかを取り除くわけです。それで、
So they put the white rice there, and with the water bubble, they remove the nuka, which means rice bran, and also rice waste.
この千枚機は、上のぬかを取り除くわけですけども、この左側の機械があります。こちらにホースで移動しまして、完全に水のシャワーで、その白水を取り除きます。この作業が千枚では大切なところになります。
After they wash the rice with a water bubble, they move to this machine by horse, and they use the water shower to completely remove rice bran and rice waste. This is one of the very important process.
丸いところから白米が降りてきますけども、ちょっと右側の大きい青い箱があります。この中に大きい布を入れまして、その中に白米を入れて、水を入れるわけですね。浸石と言いますが、
So after they finish washing rice, they place the cloth in the blue color box. Then they will put rice, and finally they will put water. This process is called shinseki.
浸石はですね、毎年の原料米の出来具合によって、そして精米具合の大きさによっても、浸石の時間が変わってきますので、非常に難しい、大変なところになります。
Shinseki is the process to soak rice in the water, and every year the quality of rice is slightly different. So based on the condition of the rice and based on the rice polishing rate, they will change the time for soaking.
その後ですね、白米を水切り、これが水を切った状態になります。
So now you can see the white cloth, and
白い
inside
袋に入ってます。
there's a rice. So they already drain water.
次の日蒸気で蒸し上げるわけです。1時間蒸し上げますけども。
So the next day, they will steam this rice for 1 hour.
それでは仕込み蔵に移動します。この先ほどの蒸気ですけども、麹米、それから直接仕込みに入る蒸し米、この辺が大切なところになります。今、仕込み蔵の入り口に来ました。
So this is the entrance of Shikomigura, which is for moromi and shubo making.
階段を上がりまして2階が集合室になりますが、この階段も仕込み蔵150年ぐらい経っている仕込み蔵になります。
So now the camera is at the second floor. Actually, the cameraman is there. And as you see, the building looks very historical, right? They have, it has 150 years of history. And this is called Shubo making room.
左側ですね。この木の凸凹なんですけども、150年前ですか、電気のない時代、ろうそくを立てて そのろうそくの明かりで作業をしたと言われています。
Now you can see the wood is not flat, like there's a dent. And it is because 150 years ago, there were no electricity, which means no light. So they put the candles there. So that's why the wood is flat.
それでは酒母の方を見ていただきたいと思いますが、酒母タンクになりますが、
This Shibo
仕込み水に麹ですね。そして蒸し米を入れて酵母菌を添加。うちの自家培養をしている酵母菌ですね。そちらを入れて仕込むわけです。
So this is called a shubo, and they put water, koji mold, steamed rice, and yeast. And they use their original yeast for this shubo.
酒母は14日間で出来上がりますが、発酵させてアルコール度数が 11% ぐらいになりましたら、出来上がりになります。
So now you see the shubo, and they will make this shubo, the alcohol percentage, once the alcohol percentage become 11%, they will proceed to the next step. And it takes about 14 days.
酒母の役割は酵母菌の数を純粋に増殖させる目的です。
We have been saying shubo, shubo, but I'm sure that you are not familiar with this word. Shubo in English is called starter culture. This is an important process for fermentation to increase the number of yeast.
酒母を14日間で出来上がりましたら、今度は下の1階の大きいゴミタンクに下ろします。全量1本を1本に下ろします。
After they finish shubo making, they will move this shubo to the tank at the downstairs.
そして、もろみの仕込みが始まるわけです。最初の4日間。
So that this step is called moromi making.
今、見ていただいているのが解剖といいまして、毎日朝と夕方買い入れをする解剖になります。
Now you can see the long stick, right? And this is called kaibo, kai stick. Every morning and evening, they use this stick to stir the mash.
この解剖で、買い入れをしますけども、今見ていただいているもろみの白米ですね。これは2トンの白米が入っております。
You can see the tank is quite big, and there is 2 tons of moromi.
下が空調になって、10度 C の空調になっておりますし、もろみの中にホースが入っております。こちらが5度の冷水が循環しておりまして、温度管理をしております。
The temperature control is important as well. So they control the temperature downstairs, and under the ground, there's a hoses. They put the water and keep it like 5 degrees.
先ほど酒母を入れて、もろみの仕込みと話しましたが、4日間かけて3段階に 2トンの白米を入れていくわけです。
Now, he said that there's a 2 tons of rice, but it is called a 3-step preparation. Although it's 3 steps, it takes 4 days. So during these 4 days, they put all the rice, and in total, it's going to be 2 tons.
酒母にですね、仕込み水、そして麹と蒸し米を入れて、最初の段階が添え仕込みと言います。
They put shibo, water, koji mold, steamed rice. This is the step for day 1, and it is called soe jikomi.
1日目に先ほど行った工程ですね、仕込み水と麹と蒸し米繰り返して中仕込みを行い、4日目に最終的な留め仕込み繰り返すわけです。
On the second day, they will not do anything, just leave it. And on the third day, again, they will put rice, koji mold, water, and stir. And day 4, they also put water, rice, koji mold, and the 3 steps preparation is completed.
もろみの発酵は、純米吟醸ですと25日から27日ぐらい、発酵期間があります。先ほどの貝ボで朝晩買い入れしながら温度を見て、その温度管理ですね、成分を見ながらその温度管理が大切なところになります。
For example, to make Junmai Ginjo sake, it takes about 25 to 27 days. Every morning and every evening, they keep control for temperature, and they also check the conditions. And also they use the kai stick, very long one, to stir.
25日から27日ぐらい経ちましたら、アルコール度数が 17% 台になります。そこで、醸造、絞りになりますね。
So 25 to 27 days later, the alcohol percentage become 17%, 17%. So they proceed to the next step, which is called jouso.
です。お酒と酒粕に分ける作業になります。
So they separate sake, the liquid, and the sake kasu, the sake rice cake. They separate it in the jouso step.
絞れてきたお酒が原酒、生酒になりまして、貯蔵熟成させます。
So once they separate the liquid, I mean sake and the sake kasu, it is considered nama sake as well as Genshu. Then they will proceed for storing.
以上で工程が終了になります。
So these are the steps for shubo and moromi making. こちらは何個ぐらいタンクがあるんでしょうか
？16個あります。開放タンクですね。
Now you can see the whole place of mash making, and there are 16 tanks. この木の蓋がついているものもありますよね。
はい。木の蓋は、空な場合、何も入ってない場合にかけるのと、あと2日目ですね。仕込んで2日目に温度が下がらないようにするためにかけるのと 2パターンがあります。
じゃあタンクはステンレスでも蓋は木のことだって。はい。
そうですね。昔からので使用しております。
Although the material of the tank is stainless, they use the wooden cover because they have been using this cover. I mean, like the building itself also has the history. So when the inside of the tank is empty, they cover or there is a 3-step preparation, but the second day they don't do anything, so they use this cover to just leave it properly. この1個のタンクから4、5瓶で何本ぐらい日本酒できるんですか
4、5瓶ですか。
一升瓶でもいいですけど、はい。
一升。純米吟醸ですと3500本ぐらいになると思います。
From one tank, they can produce 3,500 bottles of sake. Okay, so now I feel that everyone wants to start drinking sake. I'm sure that you all are thirsty. So thank you very much, Mr. Saura and Mr. Onodera. ありがとうございます。And thank you for joining us tonight. Satomi-san, can you start serving sake?
Yes, thank you very much, Saura-san and
Great.
Onodera-san, also Ayumi-san. Thank you.
Thank you.
ありがとうございます。So, the most exciting moment has come. So we are going to try Urakasumi, which is name of the producer, Urakasumi, and Junmai, which is a classification, Nama, which means Nama, Genshu, Shiboritate. So it has got a really, really long name. So maybe Saura-san, what is the the Nama, Genshu, and Shiboritate? Sounds like quite a lot going on here. Could you tell us what is this meaning for us?
先ほどの、工程で最後お酒を絞った後に、貯蔵熟成をするというお話しましたけれども、絞ったお酒は普通加熱処理をして貯蔵熟成します。その加熱処理をしないお酒が生酒で、フレッシュなお酒になります。
So earlier in the virtual video, we saw this, the sake has to be pasteurized, and this sake didn't go through the pasteurization, so that means it's nama. Nama means raw in the direct translate, or as well as fresh.
生酒は品質が変化しやすいので、通常は低温で貯蔵して楽しんでいただきたいお酒になります。
So this kind of nama sake is very, how to say, very fragile in a way. So it's really easy to change the characteristic. So ideally, they want to keep this sake in the refrigerated, chilled places.
ぜひフレッシュなお酒の味わいを楽しんでいただければと思います。
Please enjoy the fresh sake. 乾杯。乾杯。So what do you think? おいしい。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
I think sake has a really sort of bright aromas and bright flavors, quite rich flavors of like melon, and also the palate as well. It's quite sort of rich and creamy style, and that is really nice. The Genshu, which is undiluted, so it gives a texture, sort of more creamy and silky texture. How many of you like this sake? Oh, many of us. Wonderful. Brilliant. So, I'd like to move on to the questionnaire, Q&A. If you have any questions, we have a wonderful brewers here to be able to ask any open questions. And we have a microphone, so the gentleman here, お願いします。こちらの男性、はい、お願いします。Thank you.
Good, very early morning. When did the brewery switch to using metal containers from, I presume it was wooden before. What year did they switch to using metal fermentation tanks?
今のご質問なんですけれども、先ほど蓋は木だったんですが、タンクは鉄にステンレスですよね。で、これっていつからステンレスのタンクを使うようになったんですか？
そうですね。もともとは木の大きな桶に仕込んでいたわけですけれども、だいたいそうですね、昭和でいうと30年代ということですから、だいたい70年ぐらい前にまず木の樽からホーローですね、鉄にガラスを焼き付けたものに変わりました。
はい。So they were using the wooden tank before, I mean initially, but about 70 years ago, 70, they changed wooden tank to enamel tank.
そうですね、大体ステンレスのタンクを使い始めたのは2、30年ぐらい前になると思いますが、私どものこの蔵では以前はそのホーローのタンクを使っていました。鉄にガラスを焼き付けた。ですけれども、11年前の東日本大震災でだいぶそれが傷んでしまいましたので、この蔵では11年前にステンレスのタンクに切り替えました。
So about 11 years ago, 10 to 11 years ago, they start using the stainless tank at this main brewery.
ちょうど前のタンクですと、鉄のホーローのタンクですとちょっと傷つきやすいとお酒に影響しますので、その時にステンレスのタンクに切り替えたわけです。
Because the stainless tank is more stronger, like will not have the scratches, and the enamel tank might have scratches, and then it's fragile too. So they start using the more stronger material, which is a stainless tank.
The next question, お願いします。じゃあ、トレイシーさん。
Oh, hi. Thank you very much for the beautiful sake. I was wondering if you have a well, or where is your water source that you use?
Okay. 美味しいお酒ありがとうございますということでおっしゃってたんですが、お水についてのご質問です。お水のソースはというどこからですかというふうにおっしゃってます。
はい。今日皆さんに楽しんでいただいているお酒は私どものもう一つの蔵で大和蔵というところで作ったお酒になります。そちらの方の仕込み水、お酒を作る時の水については井戸水と、それから水道水を処理したものをブレンドして使っています。
はい。 They have another brewery which is called Yamotokura, and the sake today you are having is from Yamotokura. The water they are using it is at the Yamotokura is well water and tap water too. Tap water, but after some treatment.
その井戸水の水質はどちらかというと比較的軟水、ミネラル成分の少ないタイプの水になります。
And the water they are using at Yamotokura, the well water contains less mineral, which means soft water.
で比較的柔らかい味わいのお酒になると思います。
Since they use soft water, the taste of sake become more soft.
はい、ありがとうございます。Next question.
Thank you.
Hi, already she has
yes.
a microphone.
Thanks for the sake. I had a question about the rice because it seems like a lot of rice is going into the process of making sake. But after the sake has been produced, what happens to the rice? Is it waste, or are people eating it, or is there any product coming out of the rice that's being used?
Okay. お酒ありがとうございますということと、ご質問についてはお米についてです。たくさんのお米を使ってらっしゃるということを今回、ご存知になったんですけれども、このお米、絞った後一体どうするんですか？捨てちゃうんですか？それとも食べたりするんですか？というようなご質問です。
あれもろみの圧搾の後でしょうか、酒粕のことですかね。はい。はい。酒粕の場合は、いろいろ使い道があります。例えば、日本ですと、粕漬けというものがあるんですけれども、野菜であったり、魚を酒粕の中につけて、作るという、昔からそういう料理といいますか食材の加工法があるんですが、酒粕用に使ったりしますし、最近ですと場合によってはその酒粕を粉末にしていろいろ食材として使ったりもされています。捨てるところがありません。
They are not gonna waste any part of rice. The remain of the rice is called sake kasu, which is like a sake cake, and they use this sake kasu to season the food or like make pickles, and also nowadays they make it as a powder, so they can sprinkle on the dishes too. So they will not waste anything.
それからまた原料は玄米を精米して白米にするわけですけれども、その削ったお米の削った部分ですね、それにつきましても、例えば家畜の飼料ですとか、あるいは肥料に使ったりということで、削り取った部分も有効に活用されています。
Also, initially they say they use the white rice, but there's a rice husk, right? So they will also make use of it. Those rice husks they feed for poultry, or they use it as fertilizers. So they really never waste anything.
The gentleman with the glasses, お願いします。
こんばんは。いいですか？聞こえますか？大変美味しくいただきました。ありがとうございます。お二人にお聞きしたいんですけど、こんな美味しいお酒をどのような料理で召し上がってますか？
はい、そうですね。英訳されますか？
はい、すみません。So the question that I just had. So this is such a beautiful sake. What would you like to have it with to the eat to the brewers? お願いします。
はい、そうですね。このお酒はちょうど、生酒ということと、このちょうど春先にできてくるお酒ということですので、日本ですと少しずついわゆるその、春の山菜ですとか、そういったものが出てきますので、そういった天ぷらとかですね、が私はこれに合わせて楽しみたいなと思っています。小野寺杜氏はどうですかね。
私もそういう春の旬のものは好きです。ただ個人的にはあとは豆腐とかそういうので飲むのも好きです。
Okay, because spring is coming, and this is a nama sake, a sweet and soft texture. And there's a spring vegetables in Japan, and sometimes we make tempura. So for Mr. Saura, he would like to have tempura, the spring vegetable tempura. And the chief brewer, Mr. Onodera, he would like to have tofu. He would like to enjoy it simply with this beautiful sake.
Thank you. Maybe the last question, if somebody have anything? No? 大丈夫ですか ?OK。はい。じゃあ、以上です。So, unfortunately, the time has come to say goodbye, but thank you so much for participating and joining to this event. Oh, yes. Oh. So she asked for one question, and she wants to have another glass of sake. This. Thank you. Oh, can we later? Maybe. So before you go, sorry, I should say goodbye to Japan. So before you go, I'd like to announce this series of events like tonight. So tomorrow there is a Takahashi Sukisaku Shuzoten from Nagano Prefecture, and the other one is Tanaka Shuzo from Hyogo Prefecture. That's also doing this virtual sake tour. Unfortunately, tickets are all sold out, but you can access to the online, the live session, and yes. So I hope you enjoyed the evening today, and this event would encourage you to visit Japan again and then visit Sake Brewery to meet brewers and enjoy the fantastic local sake and the local cuisine with it. So before I say goodbye, please fill the survey, which is a QR code, is easy to access from here. So that would be really, really helpful and appreciated if you can answer the survey before you go. Okay. So thanks so much for all the guests, and then Urakasumi Sake Brewery, Onodera-san, Saura Shacho, our president, Yumi-san, and all of you. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening. Okay. Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you.
Thank you.